Stop what you're doing, because what you're about to learn will completely change how you see the world around you. Scientists have been uncovering some truly extraordinary discoveries, and today we're breaking them all down in one place. Stay with me until the end. Number 1 on this list is the one that surprises everyone. Let's get into it. Number 15. The human body contains roughly 37 trillion cells, and every single one of them is working around the clock just to keep you alive right now. But here's what's truly mind-blowing, about 3.8 million of those cells die every single second, and are immediately replaced. You are essentially a completely different person on a cellular level every 7 to 10 years. The body you had as a child has been almost entirely recycled. Scientists call this biological renewal, and it's one of the most sophisticated processes in all of nature. Number 14. The ocean is more mysterious than outer space. We've mapped roughly 20% of the ocean floor in any real detail, but we've mapped 100% of the surfaces of Mars and the Moon. The deep ocean reaches down to nearly 11 kilometers in places, and the pressure down there is more than 1,000 times what you feel at sea level. Every time we send a deep-sea submersible down, we discover creatures that look like they come from another planet entirely, glowing, transparent, and unlike anything we've ever seen before. Number 13. Light from the sun takes about 8 minutes and 20 seconds to reach Earth. That sounds fast. But here's the part that blows people's minds, that light took around 100,000 years to travel from the core of the sun to its surface before it even started its journey to us. The sun is so dense at its core that photons of light bounce around for thousands of centuries before they can escape. The sunlight warming your face right now started its journey inside the sun before humans even developed agriculture. Number 12. Your nose can detect over 1 trillion different smells. For a long time, scientists thought humans could only distinguish about 10,000 scents, which already sounds impressive. But a 2014 study published in Science completely overturned that estimate. The reality is your olfactory system is so sophisticated that the actual number of distinguishable smells may be virtually infinite. Dogs are often praised for their sense of smell, but the difference between dogs and humans is far smaller than most people believe. Number 11. Sound cannot travel through space, but light can. This is because sound needs molecules to bump into each other to transmit the wave, and space is mostly empty. But here's what most people get wrong: space isn't completely silent in terms of energy. In 2003, NASA recorded pressure waves from a black hole 250 million light-years away, and when converted to a range humans can hear, it came out as a B-flat note, 57 octaves below middle C. The universe does have a sound. We just can't hear it. Number 10. A day on Venus is longer than a year on Venus. It takes Venus about 225 Earth days to orbit the Sun, which makes it Venus's year. But Venus rotates so slowly on its own axis that one full rotation takes 243 Earth days, meaning its day is actually longer than its year. And to make things even stranger, Venus rotates backwards compared to most planets. If you stood on Venus and could somehow see the sun through its thick toxic clouds, it would rise in the west and set in the east. Number 9. The human eye can detect a single photon of light in complete darkness. When scientists tested this in a laboratory setting, participants were able to correctly identify when a single photon hit their eye at a rate far above random chance. What this means is that in absolute darkness, your eyes are sensitive enough to detect the smallest possible unit of light that physics allows. The limitation isn't your eyes, it's your brain. The brain filters out single photons to avoid sending you false signals in normal conditions. Number 8. There are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way contains an estimated 200 to 400 billion stars. But a 2015 study published in Nature estimated there are approximately 3 trillion trees on Earth. That's 3 trillion versus 400 billion. Of course, we've cut down nearly half of all trees since humans started farming. In prehistoric times, there were nearly 6 trillion trees on this planet. Every tree you see represents a story of survival going back thousands of years. Number 7. Honey never expires. Archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs, and it was still perfectly edible. Honey's remarkable preservation comes from its chemistry. It's extremely low in moisture, highly acidic, and produces small amounts of hydrogen peroxide as a byproduct of its creation. These three factors combined make it nearly impossible for bacteria to survive inside honey. As long as it's kept sealed and dry, honey is essentially immortal. No other natural food matches this. Number 6. The shortest war in history lasted 38 to 45 minutes. In 1896, the Anglo-Zanzibar War began at 9:02 a.m. when Zanzibar failed to comply with an ultimatum from the British Empire. By 9:40 a.m., it was completely over. The British Navy shelled the palace, the Zanzibar forces surrendered, and that was that. The entire conflict lasted less than an hour. Meanwhile, the longest war ever recorded, the Reconquista in Spain, lasted 781 years. War throughout history has been wildly inconsistent in its duration. Number 5. Your stomach gets a brand new lining every 3 to 4 days. The stomach's environment is so acidic and corrosive, with a pH of about 1.5 to 3.5, that the stomach literally digests itself if the lining isn't constantly replaced. The cells lining your stomach walls are shed and replaced at an extraordinary rate. If they weren't, the hydrochloric acid your stomach produces would eat straight through the wall. It's one of the most aggressive self-renewal systems in the entire body. Number 4. There are volcanoes on other planets that make Earth's look tiny. Olympus Mons on Mars is the largest volcano ever discovered in the solar system. It stands about 22 kilometers high, nearly 3 times the height of Mount Everest, and covers an area roughly the size of France. If you stood at its base, you couldn't even see the summit because it extends beyond the horizon. Mars has no tectonic plates to shift the crust around, so the volcano just kept erupting in the same spot for billions of years and grew to an almost incomprehensible size. Number 3. A bolt of lightning is 5 times hotter than the surface of the Sun. The surface of the Sun is approximately 5,500 degrees Celsius, impossibly hot by any human standard. Yet a single bolt of lightning reaches temperatures of around 30,000 Kelvin, or nearly 30,000 degrees Celsius. The difference is duration. The Sun maintains its temperature continuously, while lightning lasts only a fraction of a second. But in that brief moment, a lightning bolt is one of the hottest things that naturally occurs on our entire planet. Number 2. The universe is mostly empty space, including you. If you removed all the empty space from every atom in every human on Earth, all 8 billion of us would fit into a cube about the size of a sugar cube. Atoms are almost entirely empty space, with a tiny dense nucleus and electrons orbiting at enormous relative distances. The solid world you see and touch is almost entirely illusion. It only feels solid because of electromagnetic forces pushing atoms apart. Reality is far stranger and emptier than it appears. And number 1. Time passes faster at your head than at your feet. This isn't philosophy, it's physics. Einstein's theory of general relativity predicts that time runs faster where gravity is weaker. Since your head is slightly farther from Earth's center than your feet, time actually ticks faster at the top of your body. Over a lifetime, your head ages about 90 nanoseconds faster than your feet. GPS satellites have to account for this exact effect, adjusting their clocks constantly to stay synchronized with ground stations. Time is relative, and it's relative right inside your own body. Which of these facts surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. If your mind was blown today, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we post new mind-blowing videos every single day. And share this with a friend who thinks they know everything. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.